Okay, hey guys. All right, let's get started. You should have with you your map, and on the back of your map you have this grid, this table showing the driving distances between various cities, U.S. cities. Okay. At first glance it looks kind of confusing, but it will be clear in a little while. So first I want you to just look at your map. You are not going to write on this map today. You'll do that tomorrow. I want you to think about the different places. Seattle, Washington, Los Angeles, California, Denver, Minneapolis, Dallas, Nashville, Washington, D.C., Boston, and Orlando, Florida. Think about where you'd like to go. Where are some places you've been before? Or where would you like to see? And you're going to plan a road trip. And you're going to have a starting point. You're going to go to 4 other places, or really starting point, place 1, 2, 3. So you're going to go to your starting point, your next destination, your second destination, and your third destination. So really this is your home and 3 destinations. So when you plan this trip, these are the only cities that you're going to decide where to go. The reason why they're the only cities you get to decide where to go is because this is what the chart tells you. You read this chart just like you read a multiplication chart. If I wanted to know what 5 times 6 is, you would find the 6 over here, the 5 over here, and you would meet your fingers in the middle and it would tell you. Same thing with this map. This map is going to tell you where you start and where you finish. So if I want to go to Dallas, or I start in Dallas, and I want to go to Nashville, Tennessee, I'm going to meet from Nashville to Dallas is 664 miles. Dallas to Nashville right there. So from Dallas to Nashville, 664 miles. So if that was something you wanted to go to, there's how you look at it. Now, what if I wanted to go from Minneapolis to Nashville? Well, then I would flip back over. I would find Minneapolis, Minnesota, right here, to Nashville. And then I would follow my fingers in until they meet. 884 miles. Say I wanted to go to, yours is blue and manila, and mine is white because I made copies. Say I wanted to go to Seattle, Washington, all the way. I want to go to Boston. From Seattle to Boston. That's going to be a far way. So turn it over. From Seattle, there it is, to Boston. My fingers will meet in the middle of those two like a grid. 3,046 miles. That's a long trip. Anyway, so you're going to have a place to start. Now, most people are going to start in Dallas. I guess Miss Tomlinson will start in Dallas, and I'll pick a purple. I'm afraid to write on this. What if I mess up in my video and I have to redo it again? So I'm going to put my Smart Pal. You're not going to use a Smart Pal. You're going to have your paper, but I'm using it just in case I mess up and I have to do this again. So I'm going to start in Dallas, and let me see. I think I want to go, I want to go to Florida, and I want to go see, things in Washington, D.C., and then maybe on my way back to Dallas, I'll go to Nashville. Wait a minute. No, I want to go here to Boston, Minneapolis to Nashville. Well, I want to go to Dallas. This is my home. So now I need to pick 3 more places, right? Okay, I'll pick Florida, Washington, Nashville. Okay. And this is how it's going to sound. I didn't really plan it out, so now I'm planning it out, and you get to plan this out right now. So I'm going to go to Dallas, to Florida. After I go to Florida, I'm going to go to Washington, D.C., and after I go to Washington, D.C., then I'm going to be Nashville. And, of course, I'll go home after Nashville. But this is going to be my road trip. Do you have to do this road trip? No. You're going to do a completely different one. You get to decide. So let me see what my numbers are here. I think I want to get a dry erase marker. my numbers from Dallas to Orlando, Florida. I'm going to flip over. From Dallas to Florida was 1,090 miles. So I'm going to write that down. 1,090 miles. M-I. Now I'm going to start from Florida to Washington, D.C. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to go from Florida to Washington, D.C. My hands are going to be, that's 852 miles. And 852. And then I'm going to go from Washington back to Nashville, Washington, D.C. to Nashville, Washington, D.C. to Nashville, Tennessee. That's 666 miles. Didn't like that number. 666. Let's go one more mile. 667. Okay. Now I can also plan my way back home, but it's not necessary from 1, 2, 3. Okay. After you do this, and you're going to do this in class. I do not want you to do it at home. I just want you to look at it and make sure you understand how to read the map. You're going to fill out a planning your road trip. Where will you start your trip? Mine will be Dallas. What city or cities will you visit? And I'm going to put Florida, Washington, D.C., and Nashville, Tennessee. I'm going to write that down. Where will you finish your trip? And I guess I'm going to finish my trip in Nashville. Probably back home in Dallas. That's a good question. I'm going to have to think about that. And how many miles is your road trip altogether? Show how you figured it out. So then, of course, the math is adding up your road trip. And I think I probably should go ahead and decide how many miles is home as well. But after you fill this out, and then it says make another trip, and you can do another trip. But really, you're going to pick your favorite trip, your favorite road trip, and you're going to create a brochure. You're going to, of your trip. Mrs. Tomlinson's road trip, and you're going to draw some pictures. First stop from Dallas to Orlando, Florida, and you're going to talk about how long it took and maybe some of the things you saw. You just make it up. And then the next trip. Next destination is from Florida to Washington, D.C. Talk about seeing the Capitol, the museums, anything that you know about. Next stop is Washington, D.C. to Nashville, Tennessee, and you can talk about Nashville and anything that you know about that one or that you think you might know. Anyway, we're going to decorate it. It's going to look nice. And this is what we're going to do tomorrow. So I hope you understood, got familiar with this map, understood how to read this one like a multiplication chart, and understand what we're going to do with this information once we plan our road trip. We're going to fill this out and create a brochure. If you didn't understand or you need to have some questions, have your questions ready and ask me tomorrow, and be ready to start this activity so we can have all the time we need to start it. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.